Is this
Hello.
thing on?
So on. It
The
was born
Human
on.
Torch was denied a bank loan. Ow now, brown cow. I watched.
Is that what they say in real radio?
That's what Will Ferrell says in Anchorman.
Oh, sorry.
One of the favorites. My son is so big now that we can watch some movies that are actually good. So
Nice.
we've been watching the first two Karate Kid movies and Anchorman and Step Brothers and like all the good ones.
How old is he?
Really, he's 10 and a half. So yeah,
And a half.
yeah, it's important when you're 10.
Nice.
Let me just pull up my notes. So how have you been?
I haven't talked to you for like years, feels like.
It There's like that's becoming a theme now.
Are you on the right mic? Is that another theme? When did we record last time? Was it had I gone to Legoland or was I about to go to Legoland?
You hadn't gone yet, as far as I remember.
Now I have.
And
great.
did it live up to your expectations?
Yeah, it was great. It was great in the ways I thought it'd be great and bad in the ways I thought it would be bad.
How's that?
Like the food was bad, which I expected.
All
But
right.
being there with my son just hanging out all day was good. Like I
All right.
expected.
Okay. So,
yeah. I recommend it.
yeah, just not the food. Bring a lunchbox.
Well, so we had when you book it via Legoland, you can still pick a hotel that's not in Legoland, just like a normal good hotel instead of
Oh,
like
yeah,
a
okay.
children hotel.
Yeah.
And when we were having lunch at the Lego buffet line thing, I was thinking, I'm glad I'm eating dinner at a hotel and not here again.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that's good.
It's fun. The hotel has like themed rooms,
Hmm.
so you can live in the wizard room or the princess room.
Yeah, I was okay not having that.
If I say ninja room, does that do anything to you?
Well, we did buy a very expensive Ninjago sword.
Yep, there you go. All right. I've been there a few times. Actually, once when back in my stand-up comedy days, we did a show in Billund. And because that's the only hotel, we also stayed at the Legoland Hotel, which was sort of a weird experience being there as completely no Lego context and then having
Yeah.
to stay still in the wizard room. But it was nice. It was nice. Nice morning buffet.
Nice. I can't remember if I said this on the show, but did I say on the show that I'm speaking at the Laravel Live in London?
Yes, I think you mentioned it.
The latest news is I'm also speaking at Laravel Live in Copenhagen, like
Oh.
last year. So it's really awesome.
You're really getting out there.
It's all my it's how I get free time. It's like, but I'm speaking at a conference, so
Yeah.
it's technically work.
Please, can I come speak at your conference? I really need some time alone.
Yeah. Yeah,
All
so
right,
that's
that's
really
nice.
awesome, yeah.
And you
it's still the
fixed
cursor
the
talk.
talk. I think that's what you spoke about last time.
Yeah.
You fixed it.
But I do know that I need to revisit it one more time because things are just changing so fast.
Oh,
You know? Like
Yeah.
the word MCP is not in the talk right now. And I feel
All
like
right, yeah.
I have to at least acknowledge it.
All right, yeah. The word.
Yeah. Or even like just mentioning some of the alternatives like windsurf and stuff. Like none of that stuff is in the
Oh,
talk.
yeah, Claude Code.
Like I
Really
started
getting.
I did this talk the first time in February, and in February was also the first time Andre Karpathy used the word vibe coding,
Oh,
and it's like 2 months ago, and that's the first time we
Wow.
used that word.
wow, 2 lifetimes ago.
Right? It's insane that that's only 2 months ago.
That's like $2 million ago in Peter Level's time.
Yeah, it's 150 million AR in Cursus, whatever metrics.
Whatever. Yeah.
Probably even more actually, because I think they're at 400 million ARR.
Let's not say how long it is ago in like environmental trees and world burning terms.
Yeah,
Let's just
it's too
skip
dark.
over that one. All
What?
right, so you're ready for it? The talk. When is it? Was it June?
Yeah, June in London and August in Copenhagen.
All right. I think I need to reach out to Casper and see if I can get a friend of the thing ticket for the Laravel
Well,
conference.
you could just so it's at the same venue as last time, where there's
Yeah.
like the whole like street food venue right next door.
Oh yeah.
It was cool. Like when you, I mean, obviously you know this. You were the host, so I'm pretending like other people are listening. When you were at the conference, you got like a voucher for the street food market.
Yeah.
So instead of like standing in line for like a sandwich or something, you had like whatever 300 kroner. You could go and spend in whichever like of the options outside, and there was like 30 different
Really
kinds of
delicious.
food. And it's like a whole big area with like bars and different places to hang out and stuff. So like even if you weren't going to the conference, you could just go hang out there.
off Laravel live.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. And then when the talks are on, I can just drink beers
And then you just mock someone when it gets dark and you take their badge.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Get them
sounds like a
really
plan.
drunk. Can I hold this for you?
But the problem is, if I'm drinking all the while when the talks are on, I'm probably not going to be the least drunk one.
You probably fit in. We could probably, maybe I don't want to be there the whole time. We could just use the same badge
That's nice.
because we
That's
look
one
the
of the
same.
glasses, dude.
That's the joke.
I need some buffalo shoes to match the height.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
So that's fun.
that's fun. Talk. I haven't done any talks since last time. Done a few videos. That's still fun. And I went to Copenhagen for a concert. Actually, I'd forgotten everything about having bought tickets for a concert, and then the day before, my dad sent me a picture of a review of one of their concerts, and suddenly I remembered, oh, that's now. So I had to book a few train tickets back and forth, and it was too late for plane tickets. They like increase dramatically in cost the closer you get to the
You're
destination
like
time.
5 hours
The
by train or
departure
something
time.
like that.
It's 4 hours, so it's
4
not even
hours.
that bad. It's 4
No.
hours in like the Lynto, the lightning train, which doesn't have anything to do with lightning. It's just slightly fewer stops than the one that isn't lightning.
Lightning train.
Lightning
God.
train. Yeah.
Yeah, that is what it's called. We don't get them
Like-
here. We just see the lightning, but we don't get the train really.
I feel like anyone from anywhere in Asia would laugh at us calling any of our trains anything to do with lightning. The
Right.
less snail pace train than the other. And it's not even going faster, it's just stopping fewer times. So it's really, it's a trick. But yeah, 4 hours, so it's definitely nice. And I bought seat tickets for the quiet areas, so I could work all the way. And I worked with Claude Code, and I turned my entire decade-old RSpec test suite into normie Rails tests. So not RSpec, which is like a huge
How-
task.
How much did you have to do? Like how involved did you have to get?
Like I was coaching it, and I was planning it, and I was fixing a few bugs. So it was like prompting, then waiting for the prompt. But there was just like looking out the window at the countryside going by, and listening to a podcast, I guess, all the while. And so it was sort of hand holding more than it was coding. But still, we did it in like those 2 times
We
4
did
hours. And not even, and there wasn't even like a packed coding prompting time. It was like just chilling with Claude Code for train ride worth of time, and my tests run like 5 times as fast, if that's even like
So
enough.
RSpec isn't cool anymore. When last time I used Rails,
Yeah.
RSpec was definitely cool. which
Yeah.
was in 2012.
So the trouble is that they never
So you're
really
saying things
solved.
have changed since 2012?
Not much. Actually, not much. But some things have. So they never really solved parallelization, and of course, with modern CPUs, that's really holding you back, having to run every test in like a single process manner. Uh, so just from that, like not even optimizing anything else, but just running them on all 10 cores at the same time, they were just like dramatically faster. So they run in 7 seconds now, and it used to be like a minute and a half. So even more times than five. It's so much faster. Uh, and yeah, you can do some tricks with Aspect. There's like separate third-party runners, I guess, that sort of split your tests in X parts, like groups, and then run those. But it's always like it doesn't feel built in. It's like it's brittle. So I just decided like part of it was like I wanted the experience of having a fast test suite, and part of it was like I wonder if I could just do this with Claude Code and then make it work, and I did.
How much
It's
did you pay?
$25.
Which is
I mean,
not
that's
free,
like no,
but
but
it's
it's
still
like
like
half an hour of developer time.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
just a reasonably priced junior developer time. Yeah, so in that perspective, it's cheap.
It is
But
cheap, but it's still a new mindset to kind of like
yeah,
put your head around. I feel
yeah. So
like
some
you're just
things,
like asking your computer to do something. It's like, sure, I'll do that. $25, please.
yeah, yeah. It's
Like,
really,
wait, how did you come up with that? Like, why?
yeah, yeah. And you could just type like /cost, and it'll tell you it's like you used this amount of API time, I think they call it. Uh, but it is probably tokens that they are charging for. Um, yeah. So uh, a few tricks I discovered was that so it even though it has like a gigantic context window at this point, it's still a lot of code to pass. So it loses context pretty fast. So one thing I did was like and this is a trick that I've seen all over. So it's just like confirming that it is a good trick to have it make a plan first. So we wrote a markdown file with like listing. First, we found all the tests, like just a plain directory tree listing of all the files that we needed to convert, and then sort of a short description of my plan, which was like I had two types of controller tests, for example. Ones were called like plain controller, and ones were called requests tests, which is like two different ways to call through the stack, but is essentially testing the same file in the end. So I had to like I told it to consolidate those to one type of test, and there was like a few other things that I explicitly wanted it to do. I forget what it was, but like here's the overall overarching plan for what we want to do, and then list all the files, and then I did it like directory by directory, so it like start with app models and make those work, and then it just kept track in that plan file with like adding check marks. And that was really a big help because in the first hour, I guess, I didn't have a plan file for it. And it kept losing track and like misunderstanding itself and like starting from scratch. And I had to tell it again to like consolidate the controller tests, for example. So definitely for bigger challenges like this, is really a good idea to keep state, I guess, separate. In a file dedicated to it. And then of course with agent mode, which is like that's all of Claude Code, is always agent mode, you can just make it run like go nuts. And
Yeah,
and
I
even
thought.
with like tethering, like I was like using my phone as an internet modem all the way, and I didn't have any hiccups, like even transmitting all that text and all the tokens and everything just kept running. And it was really nice. It really felt like chilling.
Had this feeling the other day when I was using Cursor that I wanted something like Trello, but I just wanted it to be inside of VS Code. And
Oh
there's
yeah.
actually quite a few of like plugins and stuff that adds that functionality, but they all look like crap, and I could just never see myself add that to my editor.
So we're coming back to the Trello clone now.
No,
The
but just like
Trello.
you even saying like having this state, keeping this state, like
Yeah.
it'd have been nice to have like a markdown file that just renders like as a Kanban board in like a sort
Yeah.
of light way,
Yeah.
and you can like sort of interact with it as a Kanban board, but Cursor can
Yeah.
interact with it just as text, and you can just sort of keep the state there of the project, and I don't know, it'd just be like a really clean way to keep everyone, well, you and the AI on the same page about what you're working on,
That's
what's
actually a
next, and how
good
far it's
idea.
gotten so far.
That's a good idea. I mean, talking about MCP, you could make it write to a SQLite database as well, just as easy, I guess. I don't know if it's just as easy because that's the beauty of text is that it's just like
Yeah,
it's
it's just so nice to
it
have
is
like a
just text.
.md file in your repo.
Yeah, definitely. And but then again, like
I feel
Claude
like
Code,
GitHub projects should work with just a markdown file in your repo. Like they
but
render like licenses and stuff like that in a special way. They should have some way to like have the GitHub projects Kanban board thing just as like a
yeah,
text file in your repo.
yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right. Yeah, I guess they should have like a Kanban view for Markdown files. I guess is what
Yeah.
it is. Um, but Claude Code can use the GH command line tool just fine.
Yeah.
Like that's actually Anthropic wrote a gigantic article about how to use Claude Code efficiently, I guess. And it was nice to rediscover some of the things that I discovered on my own in that article, which is like keep like plain files is a good idea, but also like just tell it to use GitHub, like find the issue and just fix it. Like you can just like use the command line tool to interact with all that as well. So yeah, it's funny how starting to really feel like I'm learning what tool to use when. So I'm using a Copilot chat. It's called an extension in like a plugin in my Vim, and I use that sparsely. Like just sometimes with the file that I'm currently working on, I need just like a quick fix or whatever. Um, and I don't use any autocomplete anymore in Vim, and that's really nice. And then sometimes I pull up Claude Code for like big structural changes like the one I did on the train ride. And then other times I pull up Cursor for, I don't know, like it's even hard to describe sometimes why I feel like one is better than the other, but I
It's like
definitely feel it.
Cursor is like when you want to pair program with the AI.
Yeah, I think actually Claude Code is more like pair programming, where Cursor is like the grunt work. Like do all this typing for me. I don't want to do the typing. Uh, and Claude Code is more like telling a person to do the thing that I want. Like
Yeah.
that's more like product management almost. Like make sign in work,
Yeah.
and then yeah, I don't know, but it's definitely funny. And I've just spoke with someone on Mastodon today about how
A
the
Mastodon.
image. Yeah, yeah.
What are you
I
doing over
cross
there?
post. I'm a cross poster. So,
What?
so
Haven't heard that name in a long time.
yeah. There's
Anyway,
even
sorry.
there's even less interactivity on
I
Mastodon
was,
than there's
it
on
just
Blue
completely
Sky.
threw me off. I was talking to someone on Mastodon. Wait, what?
Yeah. Marco, I think his name is. He's a really great dude. He does some great DevOps stuff for Rails. But was showing off some results from some illustration results from ChatGPT, and talking about how it's getting to a point where it's the same thing for the image models, that I start to feel which one I need to pull up for a specific task.
Hmm.
Like they are good at different things, and I think it's because they're just different models, of course, trained for different things, but also they work in different manners. So ChatGPT, for example, isn't a diffusion model as far as I understand, the new 4.0 image model. So yeah, but you can see that in the results, and you start to feel when to use what. Yeah, it's just another argument for why you really, if you haven't gotten on to the AI coding development building train, you really need to start to use it because there's just so much to win and so much to learn and so much to just try experience to get, I guess.
Yeah.
So that was a Claude Code story. I used Cursor actually for like writing content. I've been adding some marketing pages to Tenor, which is, of course, as usual, breaking all records and still rising.
Congrats.
Still having more and more users and projects and money made, but still also not quite enough to be the single only one thing that I can do. But I have been postponing adding marketing pages for years, and finally I just like wrote it with all the models. I think ChatGPT and Cursor and maybe even more. But I've just finally decided to not care 100% about how they sounded and looked, and just instead went with the 80% that would get me done instead. And so now I have some marketing pages like Tenor for newsletters and Tenor for YouTubers and Tenor for, and as soon as you have a few, it's so easy to add another one. Like just give it the directory, say this is the things that I have already, write something in this style, and it's just like this is news from 2 years ago, but still you keep rediscovering how much of a benefit, how much of a great tool these models are. Yeah, so that's crazy. And then I am looking at fun again. My
video hosting
comedy show
thing.
Video hosting download service again. Bringing it. I have like every year it feels like I do this sort of upgrade upgrade week, where just like keep it, bring it up to date with all the dependencies and Rails and everything. And I'm doing it now, and it's a joy actually to make everything fun, like not fun, but simpler again. And I've decided on a new name for it, because it's like it's always been named Fun, like fun with 3 N's, which is really feels very, I don't know, 8 years ago, but still, I never found a better one. But I've bought some domains over the years, and then not gone through with the renaming, because I never felt that they were better. But now, the other day, I was looking at my domains list, and I saw that I had bought funnymost.com at some point, and I was like, that's perfect. I'd forgotten everything about it, but now I'm doing it, so it's gonna be funnymost.com instead.
Nice.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Makes absolutely no sense, but it's cool.
You can like say it.
Yeah,
that's a benefit over.
It's 2 words that I know how to spell.
Yeah, right. Like you can hardly mishear what anyone's saying when they say funny most, and it's like almost like Æblemost, funny most. So that's the thing.
Yeah, must is like a kind of like a almost like a juice,
raw juice.
Yeah, in Danish.
Yeah. So that's mainly what I've been working on.
That was the first thing that came to mind when you said it.
Yeah, the must.
I just didn't say it because it didn't make any sense in English.
Beautiful Carsten Eskelund joke about how the Danish language is getting infested by English words. Like he read an article how to get must out of your apples or something like. It's hard to translate, obviously, but here we are. I love Carsten Eskelund. And he has a show he's selling on Funnen, the artist formerly known as, but now known as funnymost.com. So
nice.
Yeah, that's the state of it. How's Peter Tailwind been doing? That's your official name in my household now. Peter Tailwind.
I am doing great. I'm working on a new thing
Nice.
that I teased to you like a few weeks ago before Easter, and I send you a YouTube, like I send you like an unlisted YouTube video with like a very quick demo,
Yeah,
and
yeah. What was it?
I
What
I
was it?
told I told you it was called Hunch, and
That's
you
right.
immediately replied
Yes.
back in like 2 minutes. Hunch is a great name, really
Yeah.
clever. Build it now.
That's right.
And I almost did
So,
that, but
so did you?
I also instead of just building it now, started trying to see if I could find some people that actually was interested in this,
Oh,
and I am starting to find a few people. So it's a very early phases right now where it's pretty uh it's like a kind of roller coaster. Like some days I talk to people that don't have to care about it, and then I'm like, maybe it isn't a good idea, you know? And then the next day I get someone who is like
yeah.
interested. I'm like, man, this is the best idea in the world.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's just an idea, and a prototype now, and then a few maybe potential pilot customers. I only started really reaching out to people after Easter because I didn't want to try to catch people over Easter. So it was annoying to have that break right
Oh,
when you
yeah.
have a
Okay.
great idea you want to talk to everyone about.
Like I feel like spring is almost mostly breaks. That's what
Especially
it
in
feels
Denmark,
like.
it's insane.
Yeah, it's like every
I
Thursday.
know nothing worse than holidays. It's the stupidest thing ever, and they're annoying. There's nothing great about them. They're only bad.
I guess I think you didn't feel that way before I had kids. Am I right?
No, I really don't like them because just like the normal days where you just go to work and then sometimes it's the weekend, and that's how it
Oh,
works for me. I
yeah,
hate when it's like, oh, now we have to like have a different plan for the day because of some
right.
thing,
You
that we
like
don't even
routines,
care about
like a 3-year-old.
because of the Easter bunny or whatever,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
which is why we have Easter, right?
Yeah, it
Um,
was crucified. The Easter Bunny. That's
don't
it.
get us. That's anyways. As that was not Peter Tailwind speaking. That was
No,
Private Peter.
officially. I've seen Adam has like a T-shirt with the Tailwind Bible verse or something. Isn't that a Bible verse reference? What is it?
It's a wrestling reference.
Oh, nice.
Austin 316 is like a
So,
wrestling reference. So he just said it has. I think his says Tailwind 316
oh
or
yeah,
something like that.
okay. So it was a different religion.
Yeah, but
What's it
it's
called?
a sort of a pun.
Kfab? Have you ever heard about the term kfab? Oh, it's a wrestling thing. It's like yeah, I should probably be able to describe it. Yeah, I'll look it up.
Let's do that
Keep going.
another episode.
Yeah, I'll
Anyways,
do some homework and describe
I
kfab
was
another time.
I was hanging out a bunch with our mutual friend who wants to start a bank for startups, which is a very ambitious project. And I was sort of just like hanging out with him while he's trying to start a bank and like helping him out and talking to him about it. And it's just, I don't know, it's just fun to hang out with someone who's trying to start a bank. And then as part of that, I was talking to, I don't know if I want to say who it is yet. I was talking to someone I know about how they felt about Stripe and all this like stuff related to this like bank idea. And he basically just said he's happy with it. He doesn't really have many problems with it. And so you could choose to just like sort of be like, okay, cool, that's cool. Or you can try to dig for something else. And I
Yeah,
was
poke
sort
at
of
it.
in like idea research mode. So I was like, is there anything else that's like, is there something you aren't happy with right now? And then he said, the biggest thing right now is people signing up with stolen credit cards and abusing the app to send spam emails. And I was like, that's interesting. Because
Yeah.
we had some similar issues in Reform with when we had a free plan with people trying to use it for phishing. And the way we dealt with that was we just tried to catch words that were associated with people trying to phish stuff, like password and card details and stuff like that. But it's just like a whack-a-mole because the list just became longer and longer with those words, like then it's password with a zero instead of an O, and then there was like invisible spaces in there and asterisks, uh, and in the end it was just like kind of ridiculous. Like at some point Bjorn had added the word email in Spanish to the list because he saw the word on like something that was meant for fishing, and it said email in Spanish, and he didn't know what it meant, so he just added it to the list. Suddenly, like every Spanish form was flagged.
Email in Spanish. It's just called.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And so, but then it just occurred to me, yeah, if LLMs had been like available back, more available at least, like back with Reform, it had been like probably pretty simple to build something much better than just that list. And yeah, so it got me kind of interested in this problem, and I just sort of started describing the solution. First, actually, to my friend, I just proposed a solution. Why don't you try to solve it with LLMs? To which he replied, I would hate to have to build that myself because it doesn't really like directly make my product better or benefit my users. So I would like to not have to build that. Right. And then I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
You have piqued my curiosity, and I started thinking about it more. And then I sort of like, went back and forth a bit. And then I came back with a demo, and he was interested, but not ready to commit to something right now. He wasn't like willing to be the customer zero because he's in the middle of launching something new and very busy. But then I was like, what if I get another customer first? Or will you commit to try it afterwards? And he was like, yeah, that sounds good. So off I went to try to find more people. And I'll say right now I have one company that's pretty committed to being like the first pilot customer. That's sort of like part of building it with me, and providing feedback and stuff. And then I have like maybe 2 or 3 others that aren't like quite as committed, but might still be interested. They have the problem. And then I have one more that is that they're still tentative because there's some stuff about the problem they deal with that I need to confirm, but I think I have a hunch that they might be the perfect fit. And if they are, I'm pretty sure they will want to be a pilot customer as well. So if all that like sort of falls into place, I think I have a new thing that I'm committed to, because then I have enough people, and it's sort of, it's a more expensive product than say Reform was, just with all the like AI and all the requests and stuff. So I'm trying to like, I'm having those conversations now. I sort of got the first 3 people that were interested, and it was people that I almost knew they had the problem and probably would be interested. Yeah. And then like the next 10 people I talked to didn't have the problem, didn't care about it, and it was extremely demotivating. But then yesterday I talked to someone where I'm pretty sure they have like exactly the problem and are perfect fit for this product. So yeah, it's just really fun to like finally feel like there's something here, like there's enough to like proceed. Whereas like all the other ideas I've worked on in the past year almost has been like, there's not really any traction or necessarily people are super interested in it. But it's something I want myself, so I'll just build it just for fun kind of thing. This feels more like there are people that are really like annoyed by this problem and willing to pay to make the problem go away. Yeah. And I understand the problem really well because I ran a SaaS where it was an issue, and I know exactly how I would fix that. So yeah, that's sort of my side project right now, is try to make progress on the thing that is currently called Hunch, but I'm not sure if it's going to stay Hunch because it's really hard to get a good domain name for something.
Yeah,
it's called
I
Hunch.
think Hunch is good. And you've already found a bunch for Hunch. So you're ready to
Great.
punch through.
Yeah, so that's what I've been working on the past couple of weeks, and I'm pretty excited about it. So the way the product works is basically you can add these guards throughout your app, and so you have a check basically, and for that check you can sort of you describe the intended use and then the unintended use, and then the LLM can sort of make a call based on that when you provide the context of like some like user created resource in your app, like a form or like an email automation template or whatever it is.
And you just send it like a bunch of JSON.
Yeah, it's up to you. Like you send it text or JSON, but I send it JSON, right? And then it can make a call, and then you can sort of decide what you want to do with that call. It will have like obviously like a Slack integration, and then one of the key things is to make it really easy to give feedback
to the tool. Does it have like a certainty score?
It might.
Yeah.
Doesn't have that right now, but it will.
It's just like binary.
But one thing I really like care about building right now is like a feedback mechanism. So it's really easy to like say like this was correct, this was not correct, and then it sort of can get better over time.
Nice.
Without you having to like what I don't want is like if it's wrong, I don't want you to have to go in and like manually try to like update the description.
No? Yeah.
I want you just to say like this was wrong, and then it sort of like just slowly like gets better.
Yeah.
And
that makes sense.
And then sort of updates its own prompt, if it makes sense.
What's it called? It's not fine tuning. It's like
it's like reinforcement.
Yeah, reinforcement learning, right?
But I think what it's going to be in the beginning for me is more just like it's just literally actually going to try to see if it can tweak its own prompt.
Yeah, sure, but like the what are they called? The O1 models, the one where they start thinking first and then answer afterwards. What's it called? It's like
reasoning
models. Yeah, like you can have sort of the same, because humans tend to write too short prompts, I guess. So you can get to a place probably where with a few examples from the users.
And then you can use like a really expensive good model to make a better
to write the prompt,
and it benefits all the other checks.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so there's something there, right?
One thing it also does is like it includes the reason, so you sort of the reason is important in order to improve the prompt.
And can you give it like
you want to know why the probably I mean you can for sure, but it's just like you need to know why it thought it was abuse or why it thought it was okay. So you want that reason. And then the information of like this was actually wrong together with the reason is like really good information to like tweak. But I don't want the user to do that. But I think the way it's going to work is like you just get it like a Slack notification that something was like was flagged as being abuse, and then you're like, no, that's actually legit. So there's just like an action button straight in Slack, so you don't have to log in anywhere, you don't have to do anything, you just click that button.
You could also have a warning level, I guess. So it's like it's approved for now, but take a look.
I mean it's going to be up to the people implementing my tool what they want to do with the information.
Of course. So it's like it's not it's up to them if they want to hard block.
I'm not going to throw an exception.
But I guess the easiest thing about charging for it is that you can just pass on like usage-based building. Yeah,
it's like that's what I love about AI products is like it's clear to everyone that you pay for this, you know?
Yeah, and
there's like a very large cat right next to the pram where my son is sleeping, so I'm keeping an eye. It's like almost as
does it
big
have
as him.
Long ears, because it might be the Easter Bunny.
Is the Easter Bunny black?
It's the Easter cat.
Easter cat.
Proud Danish cultural tradition of the Easter cat invading our homes with chocolate eggs.
So anyways, it's fun. I'm building that right now, and right. So, but there's a million different things you could do with this, including like also being like a spam filter for SaaS. Just like have like help with like check new signups and stuff like that. But I think that the real pain that I've run into myself and that some of the people I've talked to is like those resources that are created, because it's like a one-to-many thing. Like if one user creates a form for phishing, they could send it to 10,000 people. So you want to catch that as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Or someone could send like a spam email via your system. Dude, and it's crazy how many ways there are to send emails from people's SaaS. If it's like team invitations or password reset emails, there are all these ways to like inject information. Like all of a sudden, like the team name is like, it's like right next to the brand now. And it's really big. It's like the Norwegian forest cat, something like that. Like it's ginormous.
But what are you saying? Is like inside your house, or is it just
because
in
he's
the
leaving
window?
a pram outside.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just looking through the window. I'm really curious if it's going to take him.
Yeah, dragged away.
It's like so exciting.
It's a big mouse.
Yeah. He kind of looks like a little mouse sometimes.
Have you ever spoken to foreigners about leaving babies outside in prams?
Yeah, Adam is like, every time I show him a picture of the pram, he forwards it to his wife, and they're like, these people are insane.
Yeah.
And it's like minus 10 degrees and it's snowing, and the baby is just outside in the pram.
The official like a guideline from the authorities is that if it's below sub 12 degrees, like minus 12 degrees Celsius, then you shouldn't leave your baby outside. But like anything above that, it's fine. It's good actually. It's good for their health. Yeah, that's a proud. That's an actual proud tradition of Danish culture.
Yeah, and it's like in Copenhagen, in the middle of the city, people just leave a pram with a baby in it.
Yeah. Do you remember the supermodel, the Danish photo model that left her baby outside in a pram in a cafe in New York, and she was arrested for it? That was like 10 years ago, maybe more. Yeah. But it's nice. They really enjoy it.
But yeah, anyways, what I was about to say was like there's a million ways you could take this product, which is also why it's kind of fun. But it's also the reason I want to build it with some customers. Like I don't want to like just try to guess what to build, because I don't have the problem myself right now. I've had it in the past, so I have a good understanding of the problem.
Yeah.
But I want to build it with some customers. One of the potential, like the first sort of half committed customer I have that wants to be a pilot customer is a really fun one. So I will say later who it is, but I don't want to say it yet. But it's a kind of fun twist. So I think it's a kind of product where I want to build it with some. I only want to build it if I have some people ready to provide feedback. I'm actually thinking about, inspired by the same guy who's trying to start a bank, do like a design partner program. So do it more structured. Basically have a contract that you sign where you commit to, like you get early access to the product and you get a discount, but then in return you promise to like make some data available and give feedback regularly and actually try the product. So I don't know if it's too much, like maybe it's just like overcomplicating things, but I also kind of like the idea of formalizing it a little bit.
I think, contract may be a little bit too much, but I
had like an example contract from someone,
agreement,
and I played around with it in ChatGPT, and then after a while I was like, could you do the same thing but try to just make it just an email that I sent to them? Does this sound good? And then they can reply back, yeah, sounds good. Yeah.
Because it
and that felt
like legally
better.
it's just as binding, but you wouldn't never use it legally, I guess. Like you're not allowed to get anyone. It's just like you want the actual true commitment to.
I just want them to say like, yeah, this is important, and we're happy to like talk to you at least once a month or whatever.
Yeah. I guess it's like you're almost like you're reinventing like a gonzo sentiment analysis. Like it was one of the first sentiment analysis. It's like one of the first times I think I realized that something was actual machine learning AI, where you like pass it internet comment and it tells you if it's like mean,
that stuff,
mean or not. It was like
Yeah.
one of the very early uses of machine learning.
Yeah, it's very obvious, and then the main thing I hear back is like, we probably just built that ourselves, which I think is fine for many people. Like they could probably just
Yeah,
throw that something together, but I think like at least for some people, I think it doesn't make like it makes more sense to buy it from someone else. Plus, I think this is only going to be successful if it gets better by more people using it. So it should be a benefit of like using a tool that's built for it, plus learning across different SaaS companies and stuff,
yeah,
compared
yeah.
to just like using the OpenAI API directly. So
You should just
like for example, if the spam filter component is probably a lot of the same emails and IP addresses signing up for all the same, like all the different SaaS products to try to abuse them, right? So collecting that data makes this product valuable.
yeah, 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 yeah. I was about to say something. Forgot what it was.
Probably wasn't important then.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
I have another AI thing I want to talk about. I vibe coded something cool yesterday and last week before Easter. But basically, one thing that's like just like in it, like one thing we have when we use Paddle is that people can get a refund straight from Paddle because they bought something from Paddle. They didn't buy it from us. They bought it from Paddle. So if they go to Paddle directly, they can get a refund there as well. And then they don't automatically get disabled in our app. This is for Tailwind, right? But so then every time someone gets a refund, we get a notification via email about it. And like in theory, we could build something that would automatically disable their access, but it's actually not as simple as it sounds. And like sometimes they get a refund for an upgrade, but then they need to not have the upgrade, but then get their old license back, and so it's like just like slightly more complicated. Complicated enough that it's like just been easier to just do it manually.
Yeah.
So we have a support inbox where we get all those notifications, and then I just manually once a day or something like that, I just check all the orders that were refunded and just make sure that they also don't have access anymore. And it's obviously like manual work, so it's also kind of annoying. And I've always thought about like maybe I could build like a Help Scout app that sort of surfaced this information right in Help Scout. And then the other day I was like, Cursor could probably help me build that now, because I don't really want to learn how to do that, but Cursor probably doesn't mind. and I started looking at the Help Scout SDK stuff, and it just didn't look very good, to be honest. So I didn't really feel like it was worth spending time on. But then it occurred to me you could just do a browser extension. They can just change anything that's in the browser. And I've never done a browser extension in my life, but I've still felt like I had like a pretty good idea of what they are.
I just did 3, so tell me about it.
Yeah, I've never done it in my entire life. So I just, with Cursor, I was like, we're building a browser extension and then started. So basically, we use Laravel Nova as like the backend for all this stuff. And
what's that?
So it's like a admin panel kind of thing for Laravel.
Okay. And officially
yeah,
supported one, yeah.
Yeah, it's built by it's sort of built by Laravel, but so it's sort of the official one, but only sort of,
Right.
And
by name at least.
Yeah. So we, when I'm logged into Nova in the same browser, I can still make requests to it from my browser extension on another website, as long as I pass on the cookie, whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not third-party cookies; it's actually first-party cookies, because you pass the session ID or whatever, the cookie.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how it worked. ChatGPT said it was fine.
Fine.
And I was like,
just
is this
do
a security
Peter.
issue? Or is it? It's like, no, it's just be fine.
Yeah.
So that's Nova is like a Vue, Inertia, and Laravel, and so there is basically like there, but it's Vue and Inertia, but it's also does like a lot of like request via like an internal API in Nova. So there is an API. So if you're logged into the browser, you can make requests to that API from another page if you're building a browser extension, is what I found out. So that opened up a ton of possibilities, of course. So the first thing I did was like grab the paddle order ID and then search for it in Nova to get the purchase ID in our database. And then with the purchase ID, I could sort of put together the URL to go straight to that order on our end. And then I modified the email from Paddle for the order ID to be a link instead of just the order ID. So that already helped, because now I didn't have to copy paste the order ID and search for it. I could just click the link and go straight to the order to see if it had been refunded or not.
Nice.
But then what I did yesterday, I was like, okay, so now that we have a purchase ID, we can also look up the license, and then we get the status of the license. And then you could just tell me if it's been refunded or not, and then put that straight into the email. So now when I go to one of these email notifications from Paddle, it's almost like Paddle have just like put that information from Nova in the email, because it just looks like it belongs there, right?
Nice.
And there's just like a little badge that says this license is still active or this license is refunded. And it's right in the email. It just, my browser extension changes the email markup. And it's pretty amazing. Like the next thing I'm going to do is on every support email, I'm going to build like a little panel basically in the sidebar that just shows like information about that customer. Yeah. Like what they own and what license they have. And I'm just going to put that right in Help Scout. And I know it's really possible now because this other thing worked. And I built it in like no time. And I have no idea how the code works because I've coded it.
Yeah. I mean, that's
which is
pretty powerful.
It's really awesome. Yeah. And it's like, it didn't like replace, like I still have to check them, but it made it a lot faster.
Yeah.
And, it also just occurred to me that like if you have a browser extension and you have Cursor, you can just make every website just do whatever you want it to do. And I know you had an app that was like this once, but
still have it. So just updated it.
Yeah, but okay, so this is what you should do, because I was going to say here's a free idea.
All right.
You should on every website I should just have a little prompt where I could just like on the fly build a browser extension for that page. So like if I go to LinkedIn and I'm like, I don't want to see this part over here, I could just like prompt remove that part, or like show all my whatever, show the feed next to my inbox, or what, like just figure out how to, and then it just figures out how to build that, you know, for every website where you want to change something.
Right.
And then it just builds like a bigger and bigger browser extension for every site in there that you use.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what Sprinkles does, apart from the prompt thing. But you could... That's actually not a bad idea. Just
I know, that's icon. Why I'm telling you.
You click the icon, then you get a list of chats, I guess. And each chat has just like a resulting script that it runs. And it's almost like SEPs in Arc, if you've tried those.
Mm-hmm.
Like a
no,
boost.
What are they called?
They call it something boosts. I think you can write custom CSS and JavaScript, or like just like there's a visual thing for changing colors or whatever. And it's sort of the same as user scripts, but without the prompting part. That's really smart. It could be Sprinkles Pro version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just change any website in the world with a prompt.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. At least could be a good
sounds cool
YouTube video.
It could be a very good YouTube video.
Yeah. So what I was thinking before, I remembered. You should hunch. You should just make sure to market it at the JS people. They'll buy third-party offerings for everything.
That's true.
Like don't market it to Ruby on Rails developers, because like not built here syndrome is like very rampant in that universe.
Is there a Vercel marketplace?
It's like the whole world is a Vercel marketplace.
Yeah. You know how you're already paying for that library that can concatenate words?
Yeah.
You should also pay for
premium string.join API.
Yeah, dude.
Zero pad.
Yeah.
LLM powered zero pad.
Pet zero.
Yeah. Fuck those guys.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Uh, yeah, I'm sort of feeling that with Nitro Kid. I don't know, man. It's just like it feels like Nitro Kid is my just for anyone who doesn't know, probably no one in the world. But it's a UI kit that I built for Rails specifically, and it feels like maybe this is just a matter of the loudest voices are heard the most, but like everybody seems to have their own tiny little thing that has to be just to their liking before they can use something like that. And I think it's just because that I'm hearing from only the people with the opinions, and there's like a whole like million people that will never complain about any of this because they're exactly the target market. And all the ones that are complaining or saying that it's just not right are the ones that wouldn't buy it either if it was perfect.
Yeah.
There's definitely something there because it's like a little bit demotivating to try hard and then have someone you actually like and admire say it's just not right. Where it's like, man, you just have to accept this one opinion that it wasn't yours, and then you get all this for free, but that's not good enough. That's a little bit frustrating. But
Yeah. Are you also talking about our friend who's starting a bank?
no, he's actually enjoying it. So
Okay.
not him.
That's not what he told me.
All right. Yeah. But as long as the critiques don't come
It's going
to
to be
me,
a bank running on NitroKit.
yeah, I'll look forward to the day. Maybe they can subsidize the development. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? So kayfabe is like the concept of pretending that a fake thing is real. So all the controversies and fights that are in wrestling, like outside the ring, pretending that it's real, that they are actually arguing when it's just of course, a show. But like, if you don't believe it,
Makes sense.
if you like, just ignore the fact that it's not true, then there's a whole a whole lot of entertainment and drama that you can enjoy on the other side.
There's one more thing I just thought about for Hunch, and also, like, obviously, if any listeners like are struggling with this, I want to talk to them because I'm talking to people right now. But one interesting realization I had with one person who was interested was that not only are they dealing with abuse sometimes, and it's really annoying, but they don't have a free plan right now, even though they want to have a free plan, because they don't want to deal with abuse. And it's a kind of interesting insight, because then now I'm realizing when I'm talking to people, I talk to them, do you have this problem? And they're like, nope, don't have the problem. And then they think that we're done. And I'm like, why do you think you don't have the problem? Well, our product is pretty locked down at this point. So that's why we don't have it. And then I ask, like, so what's the reason you've locked it down? And then sometimes it's like, just because it's like converts better that way, and then it's like, fine, I can't really do anything about that. But sometimes it's like, yeah, it's because I don't want the abuse. And then they start realizing, actually, I could have like a not locked down product, which might be good. Like, it might be good for me to have a free plan or a free trial, if I could not have to worry about this abuse stuff as much. So it's a kind of interesting insight. There's sort of like an extra level there, and like if you want to have a free plan and you can, it's like pretty valuable to have a tool that allows you to have a free plan all of a sudden.
Yeah, definitely. So that just means that you have to prod a little bit to get them to realize that that this is actually the exact reason that they don't have a free plan, that they aren't millionaires yet.
Exactly. Anyway, so yeah, talk to me if you're dealing with abuse, or if you know someone.
And this is the scammer signing up for your SaaS kind of abuse.
I need to like try to be a spammer for a week and see,
if you could
learn where we go.
If we could just get email scammers to point their interest at like curing cancer or something, it would be done in a week, because the amount of like trickery and just like out of the box thinking is insane.
It's pretty dark, actually. Like, a good way to sell this product would just be to start spamming people's products.
Yeah, it's a marketing strategy.
Anyways, probably end this now.
All right. Well, nice talking to you again, Peter.
Yeah.
Let's
See you
if
later.
it'll be a week or maybe 2 years before we
month.
talk again. Bye.
Bye.